Buongiorno, buon dia, boa tarde, boa noite, buongiorno, buonasera, dzień dobry, dobry wieczór, i Katila. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be. Jay Slater case, August 10th, Monday. It is the second video of the day. Wasn't necessarily planning this one, but I got from an eagle-eyed follower a TikTok video, and it's a TikTok video. I know some of you don't do TikTok, so you might not be able to click the link and see it. I get that. So this is why I'm doing a YouTube video to sum up some of the key words in it. But it has something precious, absolutely precious in it. Well, it has this guy flaked out after a very hard day's saunter through somewhere that he named the man trap that doesn't actually exist. And please note the very heavily laden black kind of bodysuit armor jacket thing here. Yeah, the perfect thing to wear in a very hot, sunny place. Not, but there we go. This is, I guess, UK Army training for you these days. There he is flaked out, but that's not the point. The point of the TikTok video is that we have Adrian's voice. Adrian reveals quite a lot. Adrian's very much the silent one. And because it's on TikTok, I'm going to go through some of the key words and phrases that Adrian said in this vid. And it's curious. It's part of a line of curiosities that have been put out there on Chris's TikTok channel. And like I say, these recent vids that have been put out there, reposted, they all seem to point us towards the foul play theory. It's the weirdest thing. And this one is no exception. This shows us one hell of a lot, especially from what Adrian says, that points to this guy never having actually gone anywhere on any serious recce, on any serious expedition, on any serious mission whatsoever. But let's get into the meat and drink of it. So in this TikTok video, Chris is nowhere to be seen in the first part where Adrian is talking about the different points in the landscape where Chris is aiming for. Now, here's quote number one. I said earlier in another video, I think, where I said, only Luggy and Chris seem to be making up reference points in this landscape and on a map that just don't exist, and they've given them like little initials and little names, like little toy boy soldiers that they are. Yeah, let's stick with that phrase, like the little toy boy soldiers that they are. Chris and Luggy exchange these initials as if they mean something. Now, what was a revelation was 50% of the boots on the ground team, namely Adrian, has no idea what these reference points mean. It's a mystery to him too. He's on our side. He's like, what the hell are they talking about? RS1, S1, OB, OB1, RV, RP, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Adrian has no idea. So I'll read you what Adrian actually says in this video. He's pointing to where he thinks Chris is, although Chris isn't visible. Yeah, Chris is out there somewhere. And Adrian says, I think, and he's pointing to somewhere, he says, I think this was RS1 or S1, as Luggy said. He said there was an OB, observation point. I don't know. This was the RV, rendezvous point, or RP. I'm not sure. So this RV or RP is actually the end of the track, the end of the hiking trail. But isn't it funny that Luggy and Chris can't just go with end of the hiking trail? You know, they have to designate some special initials for it, and they call it RV, rendezvous. Yeah, not even meeting point. That's not good enough. It has to be RV, rendezvous. A nice little French term there. I wonder if they're so addicted to French terms that Chris and Sluggy often enjoy together, chums that they are, a little croissant together with their café au lait when they are in La France together. Oh, yes, we'll meet at the rendezvous, the RV. It's the bloody end of the trail. Meeting point. What's up with these people? But once again, Adrian hasn't got a clue. He's like, I don't know what these mean. I think this is RS1 or S1, as Luggy said. There was an OP, observation point. I don't know, says Adrian. And this was the RV, rendezvous point, or RP. I'm not sure. No, Adrian, glad you said I'm not sure because no one is bloody sure. And I would say, Adrian, this guy ain't sure. The guy in Fishguard in his basement, the fairy himself, ain't sure because they've made up a whole bunch of horse shit. Just my theory. Okay. But interesting that Adrian, a military guy, yeah, ex-soldier, he's saying means nothing to me. I don't know what they're on about. Now then, Chris Pennington, what does he say? Now, if you remember this shot where he's flaked out on the ground, I initially thought this was Chris Pennington in the man trap. It's not. If you watch this TikTok video, you will see that it's clearly the RV or the RP. It's it's the bloody end of the trail. He's not stuck in the man trap at this point. Yeah, this is nonsense. He's back safely, as Mama D pointed out, without a sweat on his brow. Oscar performance here, guzzling water with Adrian saying, how are you, mate? And here's what Chris Pennington actually says. He says, I got stuck at the bottom of the ravine. There's no way through. I got stuck at the bottom of the ravine. There's no way through. Okay, if there's no way through, Pumpkin, then tell us where Jay fell from. If there's no way through, Jay couldn't have got further than you got through. So just tell us as you came back where Jay must have fallen through. You're in the mind of Jay. We're not. We're skeptical. We're saying you can't be in the mind of Jay. You never got to a point where Jay could have fallen to his death. So by definition, when this guy says, I got to the bottom of the ravine, there's no way through, I had to turn back, Jay would have had to do the same thing. Why, at that point, did this guy not show us exactly the point where Jay died? Why didn't he find the body? I mean, according to the narrative, Jay died the day he disappeared, right? 17th of June. This guy, a couple of weeks later, oh, actually, it's longer than that because I believe the date of this is the Saturday when he claims Jay was found. So I believe this is 15th of July. I'll double check the date stamp. 15th of July. So if this guy is saying there's no way through, he would have found the body. But he didn't. Or if he did, if this is him just a few minutes after finding the body, he's keeping it a secret. Why? Why keeping a big secret? Oh, I found the body, but I'm going to flake out and pretend I haven't. Can't make this shade up, I tell you. Adrian chimes in. Adrian says he went down. Oh, now, um, when Adrian is describing, this is funny. When Adrian is describing the point at which Chris went down off the end of the hiker trail or RP, where it is a steep. I've been down there. It's very steep. It's very difficult to manage. I must give CP credit for that. When you've got the bloody great pumpkin head and the Deliveroo pack and, evening before full of henny in your system, it ain't easy to get down there. That's why the hiker trail ends. If you look on the map, I said this before, I said, it always intrigued me how you've got this very clear hiker trail, goes on, and it just stops in the middle of nowhere. How many hiker trails just stop? Well, it stops because there's a very steep slope there. You can't just have a hiker trail that goes straight down. But you can get down it. The way I negotiated it was you got to hold on to for me, my system was you got to hold on to the plants, to grip them. There are plenty of vegetation, hold on tight, and then sideways edge your way down, not backwards, not forwards, but sideways. So you've always got one foot just below the other and you inch your way down, but holding tight with one, really tight, holding really tight with one hand the base of a plant that isn't going to rip out because the soil is very loose. The problem here is if you weigh 2 tons, every plant's going to rip out in your hand. You're just going to fall over. If you're somewhat like a mountain goat and you're not that heavy, you're going to be hanging on okay. You're going to make it. Listen, I am going to make it should have been the message of CP going down there. But Adrian didn't even think about going there. It was way too dangerous for Adrian. This is why I'm a bit disappointed in Adrian. Is Adrian a wuss or something? Adrian says He went down here, referring to Chris, he went down here on his butt. I didn't like the look of it. It was too steep for me. Didn't have the sticks, talking about those, those hiking sticks things, which I think are way overrated. Didn't have the sticks. Yeah, neither did I, Adrian. I didn't have any sticks either. Um, and he said, I'm just not going to put myself in that kind of risk. Ooh, Adrian, is it that risky? Really? There's me and my trainers and my shorts, no hiking sticks. Wasn't that risky, Adrian, honestly. I think you're making a mountain out of a molehill here, or a mountain out of a man trap. And then Adrian said, not saying it's dangerous, but it's just got these deep kind of ravine cuts here. Yeah, you have to look out for the ravine cuts. You keep your eyes on the ground, you inch your way forward. But believe me, Adrian, you would have made it. Listen, CP, I am going to make it. You would have made it. You'd have been fine, Adrian. Just a little more courage needed to get past the RV. But like I say, there is yeah, sorry to go on about Adrian. He does sound a bit of a lackey here. He doesn't sound like he's got much clue. He doesn't understand the map reference points. He doesn't understand that that steep slope is negotiable. He is, I think, Adrian's just a hired lackey. That's what it sounds like. Adrian, if I got it wrong, correct me, but that's all I can surmise from what you said here. And you said, yeah, you said Chris is out there somewhere. I can't call him, or he's got 50% on his phone. I've called out to him. I can't, Then you said this. Well, I noticed there's no pic. There's no actual pic of Chris Pennington out there in the man trap. We just got to assume he's out there. But is he? The next thing we see is here, flaked out on the hiker path, being revived by the lackey himself, the great Saint Bernard Adrian, with well, not brandy. Well, it could be brandy. Could be a brandy bottle. Could be. I suspect it's water. Um, yeah, and then we have both Pumpkin and Adrian confirm there's no way through the man trap. This guy says it. Adrian says, "Yeah, I thought that." And this is on the Saturday when Jake's body's supposed to be found, and they're both saying, "Yeah, there's no way through. There's no way through there." Not adding up. Not adding up one little bit is what I say. So take a look at the TikTok video if you can. If not, I've summed it up as best I can. We hear Adrian's voice. Adrian comes across as a bit of a lackey, bit of a wuss. He can't even go off the end of the bloody hiker trail. I've got to pull rank on you here, Adrian. Listen, I am an old git in the closet that has some experience of hiking, not high risk, but yeah, difficult terrain. And I didn't have a second thought about it. That um, tree that is branchless and it comes out at an angle, Adrian, you can use that to grip onto as you go down there, but it's also a very good marker. The point about the end of the hiker trail is once you go down that almost sheer drop, yeah, Pumpkin had to do it on his butt. I did it very slowly and gradually, inching my way down and hanging onto the plants. But that Adrian, that diagonal kind of trunk that sticks up there, that is a wonderful marker. Meaning, as you go down there, if you keep looking back where that tree is, you know where the end of the trail is. So finding your way back isn't that difficult as long as you can get, and it does stand out. It's a very distinct tree trunk at an angle. As long as you can keep looking at that coming back, you know where the end of the footpath is because you can't see it once you get down into the man trap. And one last thing about this, what I think CP refers to as the man trap is simply going down that very steep slope at the end of the hiker trail. That's what I think he calls the man trap because it is to get back up. It's not sheer, but it's a tough slope to get back up. And I thought that when I was there, I was like, this is not an easy one. Like every step I go down, I've got to think, will I be able to retrace my steps? I'm sure he thought the same. But it's not that bad. Like I say, at any point, if Jake wanted to turn around, he would have got back up out of this man trap. So I'm guessing that CP refers to the man trap simply as the slope. And it's steep, but it's not that long. 2 or 3 minutes, you're down there, you're fine. And that's it. I think that's what he calls the man trap. When he says you're not getting back up here in trainers, excuse me, sir, I did. And if I can, lots of other people can too. I'm calling these two people out on this nonsense. Once again, if you've got a TikTok account, you can access this video, see it. You hear Adrian. You hear Adrian's voice. Army man, soldier Adrian. How is it that a 62-year-old git in the closet, without a second thought, can go exactly where he went and get back no problem and catch the bus home and have a sandwich and a cup of tea and a piece of cake at the Mirador Cafe all in one day? Why is this guy flaked out? He didn't go much further than me. He might have got about 200, 250 yards further, but not much further. And now I think he might not have even gone there. I just don't know, but it's not adding up. The day this guy claims to have got within 500 meters of Jay's body is also the day he said he couldn't go any further. He had to turn back. Gobbledygook. Fabrications. Nonsense. Ivor Lovelace in Wales. Step forward. Be brave. Debate me in a structured and organized exchange of views, and you explain what the hell's going on here. But you haven't got the guts, have you? Let's leave it there. Hasta luego, adios, hasta la vista. See you next time.